Hey, what's up, my units? This is CJ Who Talks to the Shot Clock Talks.
What's up, guys? This is Nathan Burnett, and this is Shot Clock Talks. If you haven't seen the videos before, the premise of this is basically, as the name suggests, Shot Clock Talks. We try and give our takes in the 5 minutes before the buzzer ends. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and go into the Cavs' success recently, and I'll hand it over to you, CJ.
Yeah, the Cavs are 73 and the Cavs are on pace to get 73-9. There's a lot of questioning about what they're gonna do in the playoffs because obviously there's are teams that they did beat that they might face in the playoffs. They beat the Celtics and they beat the Thunder. But I want to actually give out some more context when they beat the Thunder. The Thunder, they're missing Chet and Alex Caruso, and that game was really close. And when they beat the Celtics, I don't think anybody was missing. So, Nathan, I'm gonna actually hand this over to you while I do a little bit of more research.
So the Cavs, it kind of enters the whole contenders versus pretenders argument because we've seen many teams that have had like several success and then it ends up being nothing in the playoffs because they end up having to face teams that are not injured or at their full extent in the playoffs or teams that are just a different animal in the playoffs. There were obviously a few years where everybody thought that the Celtics were going to win and then they had to deal with playoff Jimmy Butler. So the playoffs are always a different breed. However, I personally hope that the Cavaliers go far in this playoffs because I've been hyping them up for a few years, and people have always thought that I was insane. Because again, they lost the play-in to the Nets a while back, and then everybody was saying to trade either Donovan Mitchell or trade Darius Garland. And I told everybody, I was like, we need to give this team one more chance and see how far they go. And now they're on pace to break the 73-9 record. I don't know if they'll exactly get there. I don't know if they're that good this year. I mean, again, they're crazy this year, but I don't know if they're 73-9 Warriors level. But again, I've always been behind this team, and people, may try and call me out on that and be like, throw the bandwagon allegations on there. But I encourage you, go back through my channel. Like, I have videos from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, saying like, give this team a few years and they're gonna be a deep playoff contender. And now we're here 3 years later, like I said, and they look like they're gonna be deep playoff contenders. So I spoke my piece on that.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with Nathan. Nathan was one of those guys who was like, yeah, the Cavs were going to be a team to look out for. Versus me, where I was like, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley, and
Jared Allen.
Allen and them was just never going to work. I literally was saying that. I was like, yo, last year when they lost to the Celtics, I was like, Donovan Mitchell should probably go to a better team that actually fits him. So, Nathan, I actually got to give you props there. You gotta give props when guys get stuff right. But I actually want to say Jaylen Brown was missing from the last Celtics versus Cavs game. But also with that too. But I just want to say, with the Cavs, yeah, we did see teams that they look amazing during the regular season. But I mean, it's just circumstance. That's the main thing I have to say about the Cavs. Every game they played, it always came circumstantial. Like it works out in their favor, and every games do count. So, yeah, I don't really see them winning the chip this year. Nathan, do you think they're winning a chip?
I see him making a conference finals. I don't know about a chip because it's sort of weird where the the conferences have been swinging a lot lately. There was a lot of years, especially back with like the Spurs and LeBron years with the Heat and everything, where the West were like the monster, and things like that. And like it was like you're chilling in the East and then you are getting destroyed in the West. And then for a couple years whenever the Bucks were doing well, it swung the other way where it's like now if you're in the East, you got to fucking watch out for the Bucks, you got to watch out for the Celtics. And now it seems like every year it's kind of flip-flopping. So, I feel like the Cavs can maybe go to a conference finals. If they do go to a conference finals, they'll likely be up against the Celtics again. What I would really like to see personally would be a Thunder versus Nuggets conference finals, and then a Cavs Celtics conference finals, and then we get Thunder versus Cavs like we did in the finals, because the Thunder Cavs game was one of the most viewed games this year. And also, I've constantly been talking about how I want to see some more of these young teams that go out and actually like play with heart and everything like that. And that's why I'm getting even more into college basketball now, because it's not ruined with all of the popularity and everything of like the NBA. It's hard to explain, but it's like the we talked a bit about it in like a previous episode where like in the NBA everybody has to like look out for their personal brand and their agents and things like that, versus college basketball I feel like is more raw. In a sense, it's hard to explain, especially with us trying to stay within the time limit. But I that's why I like seeing younger players, and why I always talk about like, oh, the new generation and reigning in the new generation. So I think a Thunder's Cavs would really be refreshing for the league, to be honest. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's personally what I would like to see, even as a Spurs fan. Thunder's Cavs.
Yeah. This is actually we're about to be over the time limit, but this is gonna be my last thing I want to say about that. The Cavs are 0-8 versus top three seeded teams in the East. So that's something that's concerning. Actually, I don't know if that stat is true if they beat the Celtics. So I think that stat is kind of outdated. But yeah, that's on that you actually have to worry about, because stats don't lie, especially when it comes to certain things like that. So we're actually gonna get into our second one where we're talking about the Kings. Their current win streak. I think they're on a 7 game win streak.
Yeah, I gotta look at their schedule because I know I looked at their schedule before, because a little bit after
Yeah,
our last episode, because there was a take that I talked last episode that DeMar DeRozan was gonna be the reason that they lose and everything like that, and then
yeah,
immediately after that episode came out, they went on a crazy win streak, and so everybody was saying like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. DeMar's carrying the team, all that. But I looked at the Kings
yeah,
schedule, and I want you guys to listen to like what the loss streak and what the win streak was. When they went on this losing streak where they fired Mike Brown, they played the Denver Nuggets, arguably one of the best teams, especially like from the last few years. They've kind of declined this year, which I made a video about, but still a pretty decent team. They played the Lakers twice, which can go either way. So losing to them twice in a row, okay, they maybe could have gotten one of those. The Indiana Pacers, I will admit they lost by almost 30. Detroit, a lot of people would say, oh, how did y'all lose to the Pistons? Because the Pistons had the losing streak a few years ago. The Pistons are actually winning a decent amount of games this year, and they only lost by 1 point. And then again, they played the Lakers. Versus we go into the win streak. Okay, they won against Dallas, but then they won against Philly, which has drastically dropped in rankings. They won against Memphis, who is down in rankings. They won against Golden State, who is down in rankings. They won against Boston, which was pretty good. They won against Chicago, which again is also pretty down in rankings. And then they lost just the other night on Tuesday, January 14th, to the Bucks, who's coached by Doc Rivers. Like, just because a team goes on a losing streak or goes on a winning streak doesn't mean you blow up the team or say this guy's the solution. So many NBA fans, and I love y'all to death because after all, y'all NBA fans are my fan base and like my viewers and subscribers, so I don't want to call all y'all out and antagonize all of y'all. But it is such a problem with just sports fans in general to where they immediately jump to a conclusion anytime anything happens. Like it happens in football, it happens in baseball, it happens in every sport where somebody will win a game and they'll be like, "This guy's the greatest player of all time." And then like there's like a draft pick and he loses like his first 3 games and they're like, "This guy's a fucking bust. He's terrible." It's like y'all gotta wait shit out sometimes. Like don't immediately just like. And I know that the NBA that's the point of the NBA media. They have to stay relevant. They have to push what's happening and they want to push that narrative to you. They want to push like, "Oh, Mike Brown was fired and now look at all these wins. Like Mike Brown was the problem." They want to push that narrative to you because it gets you to click on it. But at the end of the day, it's just not the truth. If you think that DeMar DeRozan is going to carry the Kings to a deep playoff run, they're going to lose the play-in. DeMar DeRozan's going to leave the Kings again, and then they're going to be in another 10-year playoff drought unless they sign somebody else in free agency and reconstruct the team all over again. It's just what's going to happen. I don't know why y'all suddenly think that DeMar DeRozan is going to single-handedly carry this team and why Mike Brown was the problem. Mike Brown was the solution, and y'all got rid of him. Just because y'all won a couple of games doesn't mean that he was the problem. Y'all are going to lose more games. Y'all are going to be like a 55% win team, and that's going to be the end of it.
I agree with Nathan 100%. And I'm actually going to put more context with the Kings because the Kings, they've been on a fraud watch. Look, I like Keon Ellis, but when they you brought up on their win streak how they beat the 76ers. No Joel Embiid. When they beat the Mavericks, no Luka.
Exactly.
Like, come on now.
You can't just look at the win streak and think that solves everything.
Minutes. Like, come on now. They're playing Buddy Hield minutes in the great 2025 after 15 games. We all know Buddy Hield sucks after that. Come on, bro. The only team they it was actually a good look was the Celtics.
Yeah.
Everybody know the Heat. The Heat kind of sucks right now. Like, come on now. Bam was missing goddamn interior post hooks. Like,
and
come
then you
on,
have
bro.
The Jimmy Butler drama too, which adds into it. Like,
come on. They're going through so much, and they beat the Bulls. Oh wow, the Bulls. Everybody beat the Bulls. Everybody beat look. The Grizzlies. That's another team that I really feel like okay. That's a team that they beat. But guess what? No Ja Morant.
Yeah.
No Ja Morant. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Yeah, so they're on a crazy fraud watch. Yeah, that's it was just unfortunate timing how we just made that video. We were just like, oh yeah, these guys are just it's like the same thing with the James Harden thing, where we was like, yo, James Harden, yeah, he of course these guys they're not gonna win a chip. Even when Kawhi Leonard comes back. And guess what?
They went on a 9-win streak.
On a crazy win streak.
But then they lost the first round, and I was like,
nothing changes. Nothing changes, bro. Like, come on, bro. Nothing changes. And then they got exposed by the Bucks. Like, when you're losing to the Bucks, that's led by Doc Rivers. Oh, that Cavs 0-8 thing, that was actually the Bucks. I mixed the two teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you texted me about the Bucks, but
yeah. That was definitely about the Bucks. Other than that, guys, we're about to actually just finish this out right now because we're already past the time limit. But guys, please go subscribe to Nathan Burnett. I'm actually gonna probably drop this video on Friday, hopefully. This is Shot Clock Talks. Everybody, we're trying to be more consistent. Last week, I couldn't really do it. This is on me. It was just the noise. I don't want the noise. I've been trying to fix this noise problem since moving back in to where I'm at right now. Nathan, you got anything else you want to say?
What's up, guys? I'm Nathan Burnett. I try and upload every Thursday, podcast every other week, and then scripted documentary videos every other week. So they flip flop. And then Shot Clock Talks, I try and upload around every Saturday. So come check me out. Got about 11K subs, trying to hit 25K for 2025, 25 for 25. So come check me out, all that good stuff. Check out CJ as well. Go check out CJ Hoop Talks on YouTube, and it's CNB Talks now on Instagram, right?
Yeah, CMV Sports Talk. Nathan, I don't know why you shooting for 25. You mean 100K, man? Like, come
Hey,
on, bro.
hopefully we can put the silver plaque right here. But
Yes, sir.
but yeah,
Yes, sir.
the trend or the hashtag is or whatever you want to call it. The short term goal is 25 for 25. The stretch goal is 100K. Hopefully, let's go.
Yes, sir. I believe he can do it, guys. But guys, thank y'all for watching. The Shot Clock Talks. See you next time.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.